here with Mike McElrath. He was the captain of the '92 Army football team, played defensive back. Mike, just tell us what it was like to be an Army football player when you played.
Sure, tremendous honor. I mean, the lineage and the history of this program, Army football, is just phenomenal. As you know, as you walk through the Hall of Fame below us, and you can just see the men who have come before us and wore the gold helmet and played Army football and represented not only West Point but the Army. And to have that privilege, I mean, it really was a privilege, and to take the field out here at Michie Stadium on Saturdays was just a phenomenal opportunity. And you learn so much about yourself. You really grow up as a young man, and I tell folks all the time when I have the opportunity to talk to them today that nothing prepared me more to lead soldiers in combat than having had the opportunity to play Division I sports, and in particular football here at Army. I mean, the things that you learn, work ethic and a dedication, the mental and physical toughness that it takes to play at this level, and I think probably the most important thing is your ability to overcome adversity and to maintain a poise under pressure. And those are things that you have to have when you're trying to make decisions in pretty tough situations that I know I found myself in when I was over in Baghdad for 27 months.
Wow, what was that like to be serving in Baghdad? And I'm sure I talked to people, Army grads who go out there, and they say they do bring a lot of what they learned in the football locker room to out there. Was that the case when you went out there? I mean, did you transfer a lot of what you learned here over there?
Definitely, no doubt about it. The thing that we talk about this a lot, but we in the Army, you have to win. It's not an option. Especially if you're charged with leading soldiers into a situation. I mean, you absolutely want to be successful, and they look to you as the leader of the group. And the first deployment, we were there from November '05 to November '06, and it was some pretty tough times over in Baghdad. My responsibility at the time was twofold. The first 6 months I was the chief of operations for our brigade, so it was me and another guy. One of us was always on, and we were managing the current fight for our brigade, and we were right in central Baghdad. And so we ran our operations center. The way I equate it when I'm talking to someone, it was like being in an emergency room. There's always something going on, and you have to quickly diagnose the problem, get the resources you need, and move out. And people look to you to try to be as poised as you can be and make the best decisions you can with as much information as you have. And oftentimes they're pretty quick. And do we always make the right decision? No. But do we learn from those and move on? Absolutely. And when you find yourself in a tough situation, you've got to be able to put that behind you, and it's hard sometimes, and then move on, because you'll hear Coach Ellerson talk about this a lot, is play the next play. Be in the moment, and that's absolutely the case when you're over in theater.
Talk about your biggest highlight as a football player here, or maybe the biggest game you ever played.
Sure, it's got to be senior year Army-Navy, because I think it epitomizes what it's all about being an Army football player. We were playing Navy, obviously down in Philadelphia. We were losing 24. We found ourselves at halftime. It was 17-7. We came out. We felt pretty good going into halftime because we were down 17-0. We gained a little momentum. We scored, and we felt like if we could just get, if we could get another score and get it to 17-14, we'd be okay. Well, Navy scored early in the third quarter, so now it's 24-7. Midway through the third quarter, and I remember talking to Dan Davis, who was the other captain, and we're like, hey, we just got to keep fighting. We just got to keep playing, and we're going to make something happen. And sure enough, we had back-to-back turnovers. And then we just started to roll. It ended up, it was 24-22 with about 3 minutes left. We pinned Navy down inside the 5 on a really nice punt by Patman Malcolm. We held them 4 and out. We got the ball back with maybe about 2 minutes left. We kind of grinded out the clock. There was now, I think, 20 seconds left. Patman Malcolm comes in to kick a 44-yard field goal. He nails it. I mean, we're going crazy. And then I heard this shout from the midshipman area, the brigade of midshipmen. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Realized we had to delay a game call. So we back it up. Now it's a 49-yard field goal. Patman kills it again. We win the game 25-24.
Wow.
The Corps storms the field. It was just an amazing atmosphere.
Now, it's been a while since Army beat Navy.
Yep.
What do you think about the team's chances this season as a whole, and maybe in their chase for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy?
Yeah. I'm one of the most optimistic guys out there. But first of all, love Coach Ellerson and the staff. I mean, he and that staff have really brought life back into the program. And I think belief and hope. You know, when we take the field, we expect to win. I mean, we believe we can be successful. Obviously, we struggled a little bit last year. We kind of hurt ourselves a little bit with turnovers, but we have so many guys coming back. I mean, you look on the offensive side of the ball, pretty much all of our skill guys are back, right? You know, Trent Steelman's going to be a 4-year starter at quarterback. He's one of the toughest kids on the team. You know, we got some guys coming in on the defensive side of the ball that I think can add some, you know, real strong presence on that side of the ball. But we've got it. You know, I think these guys have been busting their butts, I know, in spring ball, and they want to be successful. They're hungry. You know, anytime you lose to your rival for 10 years, I mean, you want that very badly. But most importantly, they want to be successful, and they want to kind of leave their mark. And they've got what it takes. And, you know, I think this year with 7 home games, that's nice for our team. We've played pretty well at home the last couple of years, so we're really looking forward to you know, a strong season here in 2012.
You've seen a lot of Army teams. This offense, is it one of the most potentially explosive offenses that you've seen here in a while?
Yes, I believe it is. Just, I think more so, I mean, you look at some of these kids that we have coming back, I mean, they're solid athletes. I mean, they are physical specimens, and they have played in the system for a few years now, so they're confident. You know, I believe very much so that, you know, if you're prepared, you're much more confident when you take the field on Saturday. And these guys have a lot of reps, and that makes a big difference. And then you can play at kind of a different level, and then that's gonna breed success down the road. So they're hungry, and they've got what it takes to be successful. So looking forward to a strong season here in 12.